Hello, y'all. It's Cynthia, and I'm coming to you this afternoon. A beautiful, beautiful day outside, but I'm inside. But I wanted to talk to you today about having a sounding board or being somebody's sounding board. You don't know how valuable you are if you are a sounding board. And this is coming from someone who is the sounding board. I'm sure I have those people that do that for me, but I am my children's sounding board. I'm my husband's sounding board. I'm other people's sounding board too. But this all sparked this morning. I was talking to my son, who is a high school teacher and a high school coach, and it seems like not every day, but 2 or 3 times a week, I'd say maybe 3 or 4 times a week, I hear from him, and it's usually because something's going on and he just needs to talk it through. It may be good stuff, it may be bad stuff, but he's just got to get it right in his mind. And so the easiest way for him to get it in his mind is to call and talk to me. Now, I will tell you this, he does not want my opinion. He might want me to agree with him. He might appreciate it if I say, "Now, Jay, that might not be what you want to do." Because then it makes him think about it. But he's not looking for me to solve his problem. He is just looking for somebody to talk to work it out for him. And so I really appreciate being able to do that. It's so funny though. I tell people that I hear from my kids all the time, and they're like, "How? Why?" And I said, well, they're either stuck in traffic, or they've had a really bad day, or something really good has happened. And then I'm going to hear from them, they're going to call me. My oldest daughter, when she hits the road, she calls, and she will talk to me the whole trip. So if it's a 30-minute trip, if it's a 15-minute trip, if it's a 2-hour trip, she will talk to me that whole time. And I guess they learned that from me because I do like to, I'll do that when I get in the car. I'll get on the phone with somebody that I either haven't talked to in a while, or somebody I need to touch base with or whatever, and I'll just sort of like talk their ear off. Anyway, but what I think is so beneficial, like I said, my son is a coach, and he doesn't get into any issues he's got with his kids that he's coaching. He will fuss sometimes about parents. Most of the time he'll do that when it comes to the kids that he's teaching. That he doesn't hear from his parents until like a week before the semester's over, and then they want to know why he's failing their kid. And, things like that. But it's always so funny. I'll say, "Oh, are you stuck in a traffic jam?" And they'll say, "Yeah, how'd you know?" And I'm like, "Well, that's when I hear from you, is when you're stuck." But having a sounding board is so beneficial to who you are and what you're attempting to do. For instance, if you're wanting to start a new project, or maybe get a new job or whatever, it is so nice to have somebody to be able to bounce that off of. And I know that there are people that just hate hearing from me and hearing me say, "Oh, there's going to come a day when I do da 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 da." And I really want to go back to those people on that day and say, "This is the day. This is the day." And there will come a day that it happens that way. But anybody really can be your sounding board. I can remember that my grandmother, my dad's mother, was one of the best people to talk to while we were growing up, because she would just listen. She had all the time in the world. She was just sitting there watching TV or getting ready to cook supper or whatever. She had all the time in the world, and she would listen, and she wasn't going to tell you what to do. No way was she going to tell you what to do. but she would listen to you, and it was just so nice to have that. And I'm just remembering that right now because she's been on my mind quite a bit, and to know that that she was there for me, and did she solve my problems? No. And do I still have problems today? And there are times that I will turn the tables on my kids, and I'll call them and say, oh my gosh, I just left this meeting and I really need to tell you about it. And sometimes they listen, and sometimes they're like, Mom, I gotta go. Or they'll say, oh, this is what you need to do about that, Mom. And I'm like, I don't want you to tell me what to do. I just want you to listen to me, because I'm whining and I'm complaining. That's what you need to do. But also, there are things that you can come up with that you can use for your sounding board. You don't have to use real people. I have a lot of friends who have lost their parents in the last few years, and they'll talk about how sorry they are that their parents are gone because they don't have anybody to listen to them. And I'll tell them a trick that I've used for years. When I need to talk to my mom, who's been dead since 1985, I talk to her. I call her. And I know that she's not at my home phone number that she was for years. But guess what? I have been known to put my cell phone up to my ear and talk to her. Because you know what? I know exactly what she would say to me. I know the exact thing that she would say to me on any issue. And because there wasn't anything that we didn't talk about. So I know Mama would tell me what I needed to hear. And guess what? That's right in your head all along. You're just needing to have it reinforced, right? So, yeah. So if you need to call somebody but you don't want to listen to them, I have called people that are still here and didn't really dial the number, but I really needed to hear what they had to say, but I didn't want to hear it. You know what I mean? So I'll call them and I'll talk to them, and then I'll play back in my mind what I know that they're going to say to me, and I just don't need to give them any more ammunition about, oh, Mom, you're crazy. Oh, did I say that? Yeah, it's. I have kids that'll try to tell me what I need to do, and I'm like, I don't need that. I just want you to listen to me. My sister, when she's having a bad day, and she'll start out the conversation, don't listen to a thing I'm saying because I'm feeling really bad today and I just need to vent. And then she'll go to town, and a lot of times that's very upsetting to me. What she's saying is upsetting to me, but you know what? She needs to get it out of her system. And it doesn't hurt me to be the person she gets it out of the system with. But if you don't want to bother somebody, I have a couple of recommendations for you. In the background, you'll see my, it's a gourd, but it's like a Day of the Dead gourd. And so when I'm really mad and I need to get really bitchy with somebody, I'll talk to her, because that woman would scare the britches off of anybody. So I'll talk with her. And you can buy these on Amazon, guys. The Wilson volleyball, from Castaway. Remember that movie? I have Wilson. And there are days that I just need to talk. And Wilson is a great listener. But I have other things. Several years ago, I did an event for our church, and I was telling the story about a friend of mine, and so I had to have visual effects. And so what did I get? What did I do? I made cutouts, paper dolls of some of my favorite people. This is my friend Peggy, Bailey, Cole, Pitcairn. She's a wonderful woman, and she's a great listener. And then I have my friend Kathleen Corrigan. She's got a really weird last name. I think it's Douglas, but I always mispronounce it. But Corrigan, as I lovingly call her, is not a good person to talk to very often because she's going to ask you 800 questions. But if you talk to her like this, you know what questions she's going to ask. So that's what I do. And then I have my friend Bridget Eileen Erin Brady and her husband Curry. And Erin has got so many good things to say about all kinds of things. So but they're fun people, and if I need something really motivating, somebody to really motivate me, I go to these two. And then I have my friend Lucy Lee Helm. And Lucy Lee is really practical and extremely smart. So she is going to tell me what I need to know when it comes to practicality and being smart. So you can make your own paper dolls. I just took pictures of my friends off of Facebook, and I laminated them, and then I made them into popsicles because, I use them as puppets. Don't tell them I'm doing that. They'll think I'm really crazy. They will really think I'm crazy. But I will show you, and I've got to move so you can see this. But this is one of my favorite things to have. And this is a picture of my husband. And it's actually, he's standing in a screen door. And I did this for an art show several years ago. But that's a life-size picture of my husband. See, I hit him about the same way I do at the house. And what's so good about this is that he'll call and make me mad some. So I yell at him on my wall. I just holler at him. I'll be like, oh, and you're just standing there acting like it's not a big deal. But you know it's a big deal. And it just makes me mad when you do that. I am crazy. But the good thing about that is I'm able to get it off my chest. I'm able to exert that energy that I'm going to leave pent up in me all day long, all night long. When I get to the house, I'm about ready to beat him to a pulp. Not that I would ever do that to my dear sweet darling. And if she can't help me, getting it out of my system helps quite a bit. So I encourage you to find yourself a sounding board. And I really do encourage you to be a sounding board for people. They don't want you to solve their problems. They just want somebody to listen. And that is such an easy job to do, is to just listen. So I encourage you to do that. And I hope you've enjoyed this little ditty. Because I have enjoyed doing it. But if you're interested in reading any of my stuff, I'm at cynelder, and then my blog is Faith Farm and Family, or faithfarmfamily, .com. And you can find me on Facebook or Twitter, Instagram at cynelder. And I'll be talking to you soon. See ya. Bye-bye.